The evening air was thick with humidity as Sarah Williams walked slowly down the quiet street, one hand resting protectively on her 7-month pregnant belly. She had just finished her prenatal appointment and was making her way back to the car when she noticed them, 4 young men in hoodies, spreading out across the sidewalk ahead of her. "Look what we got here," the tallest one sneered, blocking her path. "Little princess thinks she owns the neighborhood." Sarah's heart raced, but she kept her voice steady. "I don't want any trouble. I'm just trying to get to my car." "Too bad," another one laughed, pulling out a knife. "This is our territory now." What they didn't know was that Sarah's husband, Colonel Marcus Williams, was currently 3 blocks away, having just returned from a classified mission overseas. And what they definitely didn't know was that Marcus wasn't just any soldier, he was one of the most decorated Delta Force commanders in the U.S. military. Marcus was unpacking his gear when his phone buzzed. Sarah's location tracker, something they'd set up for safety during his deployments, showed she hadn't moved in 15 minutes. That wasn't like her. He called her number. No answer. His military instincts kicked in immediately. Marcus grabbed his tactical vest and sidearm, his mind shifting into the same mode that had kept him alive through countless operations in hostile territory. But this time, it was personal. Using his military contacts, Marcus quickly accessed the city's surveillance network. What he saw on the camera feeds made his blood run cold, his pregnant wife surrounded by 4 gang members, one with a weapon drawn, but Marcus was trained for situations exactly like this. He'd spent 15 years perfecting the art of tactical assault, hostage rescue, and precision operations. These street thugs had no idea what they'd just walked into. Moving through the shadows with the silence of a ghost, Marcus positioned himself with perfect tactical advantage. He'd studied the gang's positions, identified their weapons, and calculated every possible angle of approach. "You picked the wrong woman on the wrong day," he whispered to himself, activating his throat mic to call for backup. Not that he'd need it, the first gang member never saw him coming. Marcus emerged from the darkness like a nightmare, disarming the knife-wielding attacker with a move so fast it seemed impossible. The blade clattered harmlessly across the pavement. "Sarah, get behind the car," Marcus called out calmly, his voice carrying the authority of someone who'd commanded elite soldiers in the world's most dangerous places. The remaining 3 gang members spun around, suddenly realizing they were no longer the predators in this situation. "Who the hell are you?" the leader snarled, trying to maintain his bravado. "I'm her husband," Marcus replied simply, his stance shifting into a combat position that spoke of years of training. "And you just made the biggest mistake of your lives." What happened next was a masterclass in military training versus street thugs. Marcus moved with the precision of a surgeon and the efficiency of a machine. The second attacker went down with a perfectly executed takedown that left him unconscious but breathing. The third found himself disarmed and zip-tied with flex cuffs that Marcus always carried, old habits from his military service. The gang leader, seeing his crew neutralized in less than 30 seconds, tried to run. He made it as police sirens wailed in the distance. Marcus had called them the moment he'd secured the scene. The gang members finally understood what they'd stumbled into. "Delta Force," one of them whispered, having noticed the distinctive tattoos on Marcus's arms as he'd efficiently subdued them all. Marcus knelt beside his wife, checking her for injuries with the same gentle care he used to handle explosives. "Are you okay? Is the baby okay?" Sarah nodded, tears of relief streaming down her face. "I knew you'd come." As the police took the gang members into custody, the lead officer, a veteran himself, recognized Marcus immediately. "Colonel Williams? Didn't expect to see you handling street crime." Marcus helped his wife to her feet, never taking his eyes off her. "When someone threatens my family, Officer Martinez, it becomes my jurisdiction." The gang members were charged with attempted assault, attempted robbery, and weapons violations. Their court-appointed lawyer would later tell them they were lucky to be alive. Very few people had ever been on the wrong end of a Delta Force operator and lived to tell about it. 2 months later, Sarah gave birth to a healthy baby girl. Marcus was there for every moment, his warrior hands gentle as he held his daughter for the first time. The neighborhood was quieter now. Word had spread quickly about what happened that night, about the pregnant woman whose husband turned out to be one of America's most elite soldiers. But for Marcus and Sarah, it was just another reminder that the most important mission he'd ever have wasn't overseas fighting enemies of the state. It was right here at home, protecting the family he loved more than life itself. "Thank you," Sarah whispered as they sat together in the hospital room, their new daughter sleeping peacefully between them. "For what?" Marcus asked softly. "For always coming home to us." Marcus kissed his wife's forehead, then his daughter's tiny hand. "There's nowhere else I'd rather be."